The recording is going. Just say something quick.
Blah.
Yeah, Mike?
Rasputin.
Mike!
The high blooper reel.
Oh, he thinks it's going in the blooper reel, you sweet summer child. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Doctor Who Reviews. And it is the end of an era. Some might say the end of an era, but I think that's rather cruel. It's finally time to review The Power of the Doctor. And things are a bit different this week, so I'm joined by my two co-hosts. Firstly, to my virtual left, he sits by the rivers of Babylon, mostly because I don't want to mention that damn Rasputin song again. It's Freezing Inferno.
That's what you think, because, despite Kat's efforts to thwart me, I did get in contact with Sean Dillon. I'm out of here! Enjoy your Power of the Doctor review, suckers. Take it away, Sean!
If you're listening to this, that means Frezno is once again trying to get out of talking about Chibnall Who. Unfortunately for me, I actually did watch The Power of the Doctor. Unfortunately for Frezno, Krista called dibs. So, I can't replace them. As a consolation prize, here's why The Straight Story is the single greatest Star Trek movie ever made. You see,
Gets me with that every time. Fuck. Alright, fine.
Don't forget,
Power
you're
of the
here
Doctor.
forever. Fortunately, I can anticipate he might do that. So, with Kat absent this week, I brought in a special guest. Because to my virtual right, not to be confused with a Japanese virtual idol, or indeed a gym leader for the next Pokemon games, it's it's MichaelWhovian. Couldn't help myself there, sorry. But seriously, Mike, thank you for agreeing to come in here and sub in for Kat.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, of course I was going to come in. I mean, it's the end of the Chibnall era. And I also got an email from Kat, which threatened me with Frontios, so...
So, Mike, in Season 5, Episode 4, Nowhere to Run, we see that Sam Beckett walks despite being a paraplegic. Yet, in the reboot, we have Ernie Hudson detailing a mind leap. What's up with that?
I don't know, Frezno.
No, this is not me trying to derail the Chibnall era discussion into a Quantum Leap podcast. What are you talking about?
Oh, and if you had the time that I regret inviting these two on the same show at 2 minutes, you win the pool.
Yep. Oh, this is going to be fun.
It might be for you. But yes,
Well,
we are here. The end has finally come. It's The Power of the Doctor. It's Jodie's finale. It's Mandip Gill's finale. It's Chris Chibnall's finale.
freedom.
And-
horrible freedom.
With special appearance by John Bishop for...
Special appearances by a lot of people, but we'll get to that. My God, we'll get to that. Oh. Now, it should be noted that I believe parts of this, at least, were filmed during the pandemic. So that will explain certain choices in regards to where scenes were shot. Which, actually, I don't think you would notice that much if you didn't know. Or if you knew, even if you knew about the... No, if you didn't know about the it being filmed during the pandemic, you wouldn't necessarily know that they had to make special arrangements. What you also wouldn't know is what the episode's about, because the marketing has been atrocious. Apart from 24 hours before the episode went out, where they put out an amazing trailer, genuinely amazing trailer, focusing on the Doctor's regenerations throughout the years.
We entered this week. We entered the October with the 3 week thing, and then the next 3 weeks it was back-to-back trailers. And it was what? Where was this?
This is the BBC's new marketing strategy, though. They don't advertise any show until 2 or 3 weeks to go. It's not exclusive to just
We know
Doctor
so
Who.
much. And yet we know so fucking much about RTD too, so...
I know. And we know a little bit more now at the end of this.
But we'll get to that.
But that's the end of this. Now, we have had a discussion. We're not going to do the usual scene by scene by scene account, because that would just take far too long. Quite frankly.
And we'd be here for 4 hours talking about a certain scene.
I was going to say, there are certain themes and scenes we want to cover in detail. There's one scene in particular Mike would like to cover in detail.
Like, that's like 12 scenes that are certain scenes. I don't know. Well, then again, I know which one you want to talk about the most.
There's two.
I mean, I want to talk about it as well, because that was the best part of the entire episode.
including off.
I mean, that's sad, isn't it? Like, 90 minutes and all this nostalgia, and that was the best part of the episode.
Yeah, God almighty.
And that in itself a callback.
Can I say one thing about the reception to this episode?
You can.
Look, I understand differing opinions and all. I really do. And I can understand the mind space that some of these people have. But the people who are saying that this is a superior anniversary story to Day of the Doctor are out of their goddamn mind.
It's recency bias, is what it is.
It's not even that. It's like Day of the Doctor is a very moving and personal story about the Doctor's redemption and healing from the Time War and all that. And it's like, oh, that's not really an anniversary story. You know what is an anniversary story? It reminds me of all the references. Ooh,
yeah.
Shiny. Because this story fucking... Like, look, if you know my personal aesthetic, you know I am not easily impressed by reference culture. And, like, Power of the Doctor is a goddamn overload of that shit. It references everything. Just everything. It is to the gills with these little continuity references and callbacks. And some of them work. Some of them have a little resonance. And some of them just made me scream, oh, come on, at the TV. Like, oh, you are just trying way too fucking hard here.
Yeah.
But we will try to cover a bunch of them that are important and interesting. But note that for every one we cover, at least like 4 more are slipping in under the cracks.
And I do want to start with the opening scene, funnily enough. I know we're not going to do this like scene by scene, but you have to start with this. Because it lays out everything that happens later on. The train!
Not that bad.
The space train!
Not that bad. Hey, yeah.
The train is not late.
Unlike,
I was going to say, so it didn't come from the UK, did it?
The train that's not the Orient Express.
No Gus on board. We can't reference that.
Rest in peace, John Sessions.
Because that's the Moffat era when the show was good.
And also the actor's dead, but...
Or actually, no, the Moffat era, according to everyone, when the show was bad, because for some fucking reason, all the Moffat hate is coming back up now.
Yeah, why?
Because they don't want to hate on the current, on the previous era, and RTD's coming back, so that leaves Moffat. It's been a very bad week for Twitter fandom. Okay, it's been a week of bad takes.
Yeah, basically, what you guys, what everyone, what the audience needs to realize is basically, imagine a fire, and you don't want to look at the fire, but it's over there, and you just can't help but take glimpses at it.
I opened my first impressions review talking about one of those Twitter people, the individual who will remain nameless, who said that Chris Chibnall is a talentless hack who can rot in hell, which is a bit much. It's a bit much.
There you are, that's what Mike was talking about. That's the Twitter fandom for the last week.
Yeah.
Do we really have to link Glinner's fucking show here?
By the way, that would have been a cracking Doctor, but maybe in the future. But yeah,
I liked this opening scene.
The tweet you referenced, and I'm not going to mention who it is because I don't want to give them publicity. That was just insane. The idea that Chibnall's done
What?
nothing good. I mean, he has. There are objectively good Chris Chibnall written episodes of Doctor Who.
Power of Three, the Silurian two-parter.
I love you just mentioned two that I don't particularly like that much, but
I mean, I am pretty cold on Chibnall. I liked Spyfall 1.
I was going to say Spyfall 1, Diodati, either the Daleks, apart from the weird serial killer dude.
I mean, I don't like this era, but also, but also for me personally, it was this whole, because this summer has been all about exercising that sort of negativity from me and mellowing out, and just like 2 days before.
By the method of quantum leap.
By the method of quantum leap, yes. That's
How's
correct.
that working out for you?
Pretty great. But yeah, seeing that laid out before me like that, the person I kind of used to be, just like, Chris Chibnall. It's like, wow.
Yeah. But the train scene does set
that's
up...
not the attitude I take with this story. Because I had fun watching this story. I have a lot of problems with this story, as I'll discuss aesthetically and structurally, but I did not hate my time watching it. This was not a hate watch.
No, it was both bad and it was good. And that will make more sense when I
had fun with this opening set piece.
Yeah.
This was a fun, exciting, dumb opening set piece.
It's Star Wars as hell, but it's fun.
Granted,
does it get Star Wars? Oh, does it get Star Wars?
Yeah, it gets much more Star Wars later on, but this... Just the whole, them cutting through the hull of the train, in this case it's not a spaceship, it's a train, and then boarding and starting to kill all the personnel on board, and the passengers running away. It was very Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't even complain about the fact that it's the monster of this thing is the Cybermasters from Timeless Children. There.
I mean, thank God they're actually back.
I can't complain that he's just interchanging them with evil robots and just like, we're going to kill you instead of converting you, because later in the episode the Cybermen are actually converting people, so it's like, congratulations, you got the fucking point of the Cybermen.
I love how you get the split. Oh wait, no, that'd be jumping too far ahead. But I'm gonna stick with the Cyber Lords specifically now. We'll talk about the other thing later. But for the Cyber Lords, I love how you had the normal ones with the Gallifreyan writing on it, and then for the ones that are supposed to be like they're not their generals, but they're like commanding officers, they get the headrest.
Yeah. Well, they're the ones from the Timeless Children, so.
Which is an interesting fake out invoke of that episode later. Is we get through the whole scene where they're going after a piece of cargo on this train, and the Doctor and co are trying to defend it, which leads to Dan almost dying. Which we gotta keep down.
Yeah, there's a very fun set piece outside the train, isn't there, where the Doctor, Yaz, and Dan lower themselves onto it via a ladder from the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
See, Doctor? Oh, it's perfect, Dan. Just jump down.
But you're right. Dan gets his visor shot at by a stray blast from one of the Cybermen. And fair credit, actually, because they immediately make this significant, because you can tell that Dan has a moment like, oh my god, my life just flashed in front of my eyes there. He's inside the train, he's holding onto the helmet, he can see the hole from the blaster.
It almost fucking pierced through and blasted his brain out, or blasted away his oxygen or whatever.
So they do nicely foreshadow what's going to happen in 5 minutes' time. But he does manage to help them. He brings the train to a standstill. The Cybermen do get the cargo.
Wait, before we get to the cargo, I will say one thing that undercuts everything you're saying is Dan making the joke about being a train conductor.
Yeah.
Not really the time for quip. If you're going for the whole, oh my god, I almost fucking died. I could have
What's kind of a little bit horrifying about that is that you could actually see that oxygen leaving the mask when it cuts back to him. You can see it.
Yeah.
And then he drops the mask, and you can tell it's still like affecting him. And the doc's like, "Oh, just stay here, Dan. We'll go. You stay here. Me and the guys will go."
Yeah. But the cargo. Now this is an interesting fake out. because you're thinking of timeless children because the Cybermasters are back, and the cargo is a young black girl.
Yeah, it's a young child.
And I sit there and I think, holy shit, is that a timeless child?
My first thought was it was the Master.
I didn't think. Well, I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be the Master in there, but once it's revealed that it's a small, young black child, you're like, that's a timeless child.
Well, I told you last week that I was terrified we were going to get like an origin story for the Master and it was going to suck. We didn't get an origin story for the Master. I thought this was going to be it.
No, we got something much better with the Master, but again, we'll come back to this.
You mean every time it's on the screen? Yes.
But yeah, they make away with this small child, and oh dear, into the credits, and then oh hey, that's it for John Bishop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand. I like, to me, I kind of understand. What this is showing. It's basically Dan. This is Dan basically facing mortality that close, and him basically being like, "I'm done. I'm done. I'm wiping my hands of it. I'm done." However, 10 minutes in, really, he gets one scene and then like, not done. I'm going, goodbye. And they leave him right outside where his house was. He doesn't even have a house
No,
anymore.
he has to go and crash on his parents' sofa for the night.
I didn't unshrink his house from Halloween Apocalypse. It's so fucking wild. But also, like, Dan facing mortality, like the time he murdered 6 sea boys in cold blood.
All the time he nearly got murdered by a Sontaran and saved by Carvanista. He didn't seem to have a problem with his mortality then.
Well, he has a problem with mortality now because Chibnall says that he's done. And that is something we're really going to come back to at the end of the story.
So the problem with that then is that it means that the Flux arc, bringing him in for the Flux arc was largely pointless.
It meant nothing. Like, you could have had him be like, oh no, Diane's in trouble. I must go and help her, Doctor. Goodbye.
What? A Chibnall arc revealed to mean fucking nothing? Say it isn't.
They even teased that he was going to get back together with Diane at the end of the Sea Boys episode. The phone call. It was right there.
Spoiler alert. She's not in this episode.
No, she's not in this episode at all. There's a couple of surprising omissions, actually, but...
well, everyone else fucking is, but...
That's what I mean. There's a couple of surprising omissions. They either weren't available, they just flat out refused.
Yeah, but what we lack in omissions, we make up for in returning characters.
Like Kate. Lethbridge Stewart.
Which, that's not the biggest surprise. The big surprise is, of course, the other people, her new consultants.
Oh yes, the freelancers.
Okay, honestly, I'm shocked Unit never did this before. Because even with Kate in charge, because you have Kate Lethbridge Stewart, the daughter of the Brigadier, who knows that there are companions of the Doctor running around, and it's like, I don't know, let's continue doing military stuff. Now it's like, I have an idea. Let's use 2 companions to start tinkering things out, and maybe we can use them in some way or fashion.
So that leads us to, well, they're back.
Yeah.
Tegan and Ace.
Tegan and Ace are back, but this was revealed in trailers and pre-release material, so it's not a surprise. Them working for Unit's a surprise.
Yeah, I honestly really like. I know this is just the tip of the iceberg, and I know that Tegan and seeing. I'm just so happy to see them again.
I know,
especially Tegan.
4 decades.
Yeah, because Ace is in of her own surprise to see, but Tegan even more so, because last time we saw her, she pretty much told the Doc, "Goodbye, I'm done."
That's a bit of a strange pivot, isn't it? But you could basically interpret it as regret that she did what she did.
Mm.
As we'll see in the very touching scene between her and one of the returning faces later on.
I know, right? As soon as you said that, my heart quivered.
Yeah, those two scenes, all the feels for those two
no.
scenes.
Here's where I lay out part of my problem with the structure of this episode being so, we're bringing back everything, is that every single idea, at some point, even if it's not intended, already you're in that mindset of thinking, oh, well, this is just a beat from XYZ Doctor Who episode. Like Tegan, for example, a companion who was left behind on Earth 30-odd years ago and is a little resentful that the Doctor left. That's just Sarah Jane and school reunion.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing which you could make the connection to Sarah Jane. But what makes Tegan different from Sarah Jane is Sarah Jane made the decision to leave, but it was a mutual, goodbye, farewell, and all that. Tegan flat out told the Doctor in the middle of all the carnage and wreckage that was left by the Daleks, pretty much told the Doc, I'm done.
It stopped being fun.
Yeah.
Mm. And well,
right.
yeah, but her main objection is not, oh, we left on bad terms. It's, you never came back to see me.
Oh.
Yeah, did you never once think of me in all those years? Which
well,
again,
I mean, we know the Doctor.
the problem being that she left, she chose to leave, as Mike says. But they are back, and you mentioned school reunion. They have a scene where Yaz is introduced to the two of them, and she introduces herself as the Doctor's companion or assistant or friend. I can't remember which one it is.
Tegan just mouths something off.
Tegan just says, "We used to be you." Damn, that's cold.
Yeah.
The idea that this is what Yaz might become in a post-Doctor life.
It's a weird thing. It's like Ace is the in-between, because you have Tegan, who's very like bitter, and it's still a little bitter about what happened. Yes, she may have regret, but it has that bitterness. You have Ace, who we'll find out later, bitterness, tiny thread of bitterness, but she doesn't show it. She tries to mediate everything. And then you have Yaz.
Mike, have you read or heard Love and War?
Yes. No.
This is Sesame Street compared to that. One day we'll cover it.
The word of the day is defeat, Rangers! You brought up Sesame Street, I had to, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That is such a good parody, that.
I believe you.
The Power Rangers fighting Goldar in Sesame Street. Amazing voice work from that guy. But anyway, so the Doctor goes into her TARDIS, and hey, it's the plot. What little plot there is.
Plot. So this is both intriguing and a little messed up when you think about it.
Oh, hi, Rusty. When did you get here?
Yeah. You see, you see what I mean with this?
Yeah, he's cribbing from previous work again.
It's like you're already primed to think about it in terms of, oh, what is this referencing? So it's like almost none of it feels original, and yet it does kind of feel original. You know, Rusty was like, "Fuck the Daleks! I hate the Daleks! I'm gonna kill them." But this Dalek
actively
is more about like make Scarrow great again or some shit. You know?
Oh God, don't!
We've lost.
It's he wants to save himself more than killing the Daleks. It's, I know what the Daleks is going to do, and I'm going to betray my race, but I know for a fact that if I don't, I will die.
I hate to say this also, because you hate this, Frez, but this is not Chibnall's take on Rusty.
You see what I'm trying to say here. When you've got all this reference bullshit.
This is Chibnall's take on Dalek Khan.
Oh, that makes more sense. Sense.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, it's all about, we've lost our Khaled purity, and so the Daleks must be stopped. So, and you're the enemy of the Daleks, so help me, Doctor.
Yeah.
Which, on the one hand, an interesting direction to take the Daleks, a little fresh. On the other hand, the Doctor's just like, kill all the Daleks? Okay.
And the shame of it is that it's an intriguing plot point in an episode where the plot just doesn't matter. And that's not a joke. It really does not matter that much.
The plot is a shantytown framework for the references.
Yeah, it's a shantytown framework, but there's like stuff that was put into it specifically to like try and draw you in, and especially is brought into this scene with the Dalek trader after the connection is cut. You really get and she starts talking to Yaz like, okay, we gotta go now. We gotta go do this and everything. You really start noticing more and more that this is a Doctor, post Sea Devils, post this, or now it's just all go. I gotta find the Master. I gotta stop him. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
You said the word -2 points.
Yeah, she doesn't need to calm. She doesn't calm down. It's just go.
Did you say -2 points?
He said the name of the seaboard.
Oh,
the bad word.
Be nice. It was an accident.
That's why I was nice. -2 points.
Okay, Stephen Fry.
Frezno. I knew I was going to say that, so I looked up in a comic just for you. In the comic, the reason why they kept the name is because they keep the name because that's what the humans know them as, like the Ice Warriors.
Yeah, we could have a field day on that, but we're not going to.
I'm not touching that.
The shame with the Dalek traitor plot is that it actually doesn't lead to anything. It just leads to an ambush, which makes you think, oh, so the Dalek was in it all along. No, he wasn't. Oh, sorry, it wasn't.
No. What? A Chibnall plot leading to nowhere? What?
You see what I thought. What I thought was going to happen after they oddly landed in a Bolivian volcano for. Okay, we're in Bolivia now. Why?
Bolivia.
We were on a holiday in South America.
Yeah, why are we in Bolivia?
No,
they live in Bolivia.
Because the crew were on a holiday in South America, so.
Yeah. So, but it's okay. So they land in a volcano. They split up in a volcano.
Yeah.
Doc goes one way. Yaz goes the other. So while Yaz does the interesting thing, the Doctor goes and basically meets up with Strange Man from a strange Dalek creature.
Yeah, the idea of opening it up, the other Daleks opening up the tracer, oh, that gave me chills. And then the screams of the mutant as it was killed, and then they force her into the empty shell, and then use that to teleport her to 1960 in Russia, which we'll get to a bit later on. But yeah, there is so much plot in this, and yet none of it goes anywhere.
Chibnall.
You could have done like 3 separate episodes on these concepts.
I was watching a review today, and they said that you could have made Flux about this.
Oh God, yeah.
This could have been like this.
Yeah, like expand each of these subplots into their own episode of a bunch of shit happening at once.
There you go. That was so much better.
And you would have an equivalent to Flux. You would have a series-long story arc of a continuous thing.
You could even have the returning companions, like have them have their own episode of like, oh no, the Doctor's in trouble, and they get someone who I'm not going to say who comes back later, but you two know, because I almost said his age, but he comes back and it's like he could be the one leading the charge.
That sounds very much to me like the formula of a Sentai anniversary show that they did.
Yes.
But I love how you're vague, Mike. It's like, and then this person comes back, and I'm sitting here like, there's like 15 people that could be about.
Yeah.
We can't be vague and say, well, a certain someone comes back, because it's like everyone comes back.
But the Master has been messing around because he wants to mess around, I guess. These are the things that they just don't actually go anywhere. The seismologist thing does. That does have a point and a purpose.
Because of the volcanoes, I assume.
Yeah, but the painting thing? Why?
Painting
You remember in Day of the Doctor when monsters messed with the paintings?
Yeah, but I think the painting thing was only there to basically show that that the Master was back in 1916 doing nonsense.
Also, I will say, I have to say, as a conspiracy theorist for this particular arc, the Master vandalizing Edvard Munch's The Scream, which is itself a painting based on the silence. There's something there.
Maybe.
There's something there that I could fan wank my way into, but I'm not gonna for now.
Yeah, but I think they just include it to include that visual of the defaced painting with Session One's face on it.
Oh,
Funny visual, but it goes nowhere.
Brainiac, since you brought up the missing seismologist and the fact that he pretty much killed a room full of some of the smartest minds on Earth, let's talk about the fact that the Doctor breaks her number one rule.
Would that be the gun?
Okay, guns are okay now.
Here, yes, hold this gun again towards the Master.
Hey, do you remember End of Time Part 2 when David Tennant was like, no, I don't want to hold a gun. And it's like, the time was returning. Give me that fucking gun, Wilf. Oh
yeah,
my God.
You liked that bit because it showed how desperate he had to become.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I liked that bit in End of Time Part 2 because it informed the story.
This wasn't desperate. This was the Doctor pretty much looking at the situation, but you know what, gas here.
And she should have realised that he had the means to do more damage, but when the unit soldiers come in, he just surrenders. That should be the first red flag right there.
It's all part of his evil scheme, which,
as I like to call it in our notes, what the hell ever, because it is.
Yeah. And that was the first red flag. The second red flag is when he gets brought back to unit and he basically starts mouthing off at all of her best friends.
Oh my God.
Some continuity references to the 80s.
His insult to Tegan is cold as ice.
Which, okay, I'll give Chibnall this. That's more of a shit that they gave about that than the Davison era ever did. Mike, you know I'm...
The line about Auntie Vanessa, do you keep her in a doll's house? Jesus!
Oh, I literally thought Kate was about to slug him. Honest to God, when she got that close and he said, I thought Kate was going to slug him.
No, because we can't have that. But yeah, and then Ace gets a nice thing about last time I saw you were half cat.
Experiment.
But again, these references are fine because it's directly linking the old companions to the Master.
Yeah, at the same time.
It's re-establishing their connection as well as, nostalgia bait. But that line about the doll's house is absolutely cold as ice.
I'm honestly shocked that what's funny is I actually told Frez he was going to do that. I told Frez months ago when they said that Tegan was coming back. I said he was going to bring up Aunt Vanessa.
Yeah.
We all called something happening in this episode. You mentioned Aunt Vanessa. Frez got the end, and I got what we're about to talk in a second with the Cybermen because, this whole thing is a trap. Kill Surprise. They lead the Master to the basement essentially. He's very excited to be in the basement.
I
like a good basement too.
And this is the point where the story now splits into two. So you have the Doctor going to the Bolivian volcano, and Ace and Tegan staying in unit to basically mess around in unit HQ for some reason. So this is the dividing point: is capturing the Master.
At this point, we get a wonderful concept, which I wish they'd done this sooner, And again, I'm sad this wasn't done more.
But okay, so before we continue on from the split point, and the Doctor talking to the Dalek and everything, there is a Chekhov's gun in this. When she's talking to Yes, and she pretty much says, "No, I must take this is a calculated risk I must take in order to stop the Daleks and the Master."
Yeah, that is a Chekhov's gun, actually.
He's basically just flaring it up in the air like, "Hey, look at this, guy."
Just hold that onto it, please, Mr. Chekhov. I'll be back for it in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
We also got a concept that I'm sorry this didn't make more of an appearance in this episode. Also, hasn't been used before, because this is actually great. Because when we first see Tegan, she's talking to Ace on the phone about a present she received from the Doctor. A toy, a little doll. It can keep out Vanessa company. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, except I'm not. But immediately you think, why the hell would the Doctor send Tegan, who she hasn't spoken to in 38 years, a model of a shard? And secondly, why is it a model of a shard? Well, Tegan takes it into the unit HQ, and the model is actually, I love this, a Cyberman Russian doll.
I just love.
Do you remember the end of Army of Ghosts, where the spear wasn't theirs, and it opened and a bunch of Daleks came out?
I know that it's also another reference, Frezno, but I love this point where they're like, "Hey, hey, my bed's down on the ground. What? Why is it on the floor?" And then right behind them, you see the screen click on, and it's the Master, and he's talking right to him.
Yeah.
Ace is like, "How can he see us? What? How?" And then he switches from both of them to just Tegan. He says, "Why do you think the Doctor would send you something?" "Well, it's because it wasn't the Doctor. It was me." "And why else would he send you anything but a Russian doll?"
Yeah.
And then he talks about tissue compression, and it just starts growing.
The great thing is it can be reversed, and this is the bit I called. How was a shard back? I said it's a clone. Lo and behold, this shard is a clone. It's like one line, it doesn't actually matter. It might as well have been the real shard restored to life somehow, but they've already established that once you shrink someone, they cannot go back.
I thought it was the real shard.
They used the body of the dead shard to become a Russian doll to hide more Cybermen and a clone shard.
And then the clone shard comes out of the real shard's body. That's just nuts.
Master, you get a hand clap for that, because wow. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
And that's why he was not remotely bothered about going to the base, because he knew his army were going to break him out.
And I will say, for all that this invasion is just, I was thinking in the episode, because you know how I feel about Chibnall using the Cybermen. I was thinking of thought experiments. If you swapped the Dalek and Cybermen plots around, would it have made any difference?
I don't think so.
But then they actually are converting unit soldiers, so it's like it does factor in. So I have to give Chibnall a little credit there. But before that, I was thinking if you swap them around, would it make any difference? Because there's a iconic Doctor Who monster running around Unit HQ going bang, 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 and unit soldiers are going getting falling over dead.
Yeah.
What's actually cool is these Cybermen, these particular Cybermen are actual like normal Cybermen.
Yeah.
They don't have the
can't
Gallifreyan
fucking handle them.
So he's actually got 3 different species technically working for him.
Yeah.
The Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Cybermasters.
Yeah. Those Cybermen that are inside the body of the first Ashad, they're normal Cybermen.
Yeah. It's a great way to get the Cybermen into the building. Because there had to be a threat inside Unit HQ. I mean, come on. And this is the threat here.
Unit can't even deal with a bunch of Cybermen. It's like, wow.
So the Master is free now. He's not going to do too much inside Unit. He's going to leave that to the Cybermen because that was what he promised them, I guess, to get them on board. They could take Unit. They could start converting the soldiers to make their own army. Again, that's a great concept. The more they kill, the more they recruit. Remember 2014 when the show was good?
Yes, I do remember 2014 when the show was good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we don't have to bring that up anymore because the year is done after this podcast.
Don't count your chickens. I mean, look how this ended.
Yeah, but that was the last bit of writing Chibnall did for the show.
No, that was Davies. Davies wrote that ending.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, you know.
My smile and optimism gone.
We're not out of the woods yet until Shooty Gatwa shows up.
Yeah, but I do have hopes for the specials based on that trailer and based on that ending scene.
I don't remember when I had hope for this show, but anyway.
Yeah, it was a nice feeling, wasn't it? And then it got ripped away.
Anyway, you guys want to talk about this fucking...
Oh my god. So, chronologically then, it goes Seismology Master, then in the Unit HQ, then he breaks out, then he goes to 1916 Russia. And
this is where Big Finish got pissed the hell off.
This is where Harness threw something at the television because
I was just about to say
they just stole his idea for the monk.
You stole my gig. You stole my gig.
Big Finish literally have been working on Harkness's idea. Like, literally, Big Finish said Harkness's idea is their canon, and then here comes Chris Chibnall.
Yeah.
You know,
but I do love the idea of the Master playing Rasputin and influencing the royal family.
It makes sense. I mean, given what happens in this episode, it doesn't really explain what happened to the real.
It made sense. It also was completely not needed because the only reason he did it was to have the palace to himself to do what he's about to do.
And
I'm glad he did it. And we'll also remember the Master can hypnotize people again, so great. But
I love how like he basically says I need the wit. It's like you need to go on a long holiday. Be fine. You'll be fine. It'll be wonderful. And then he takes that, and then you find out that the Master did not just meddle with art, he meddled with music.
Okay, listen, I am of two minds on this. On the one hand, this is an absolutely gonzo moment of greatness. And is just gloriously fucking stupid and a delight. On the other hand, hey, remember when the Master danced to the song in that season 3-parter in 2003, in 2007, whatever the fuck, when the show was good?
I'm sorry, Frez, but I have to throw that out because, oh my god, it's like the Doctor is stuck in this Dalek casing, and the Master basically is explaining today's the end of your existence. Look at all my friends that I have, and look at all this. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to do the worst thing that a Time Lord can experience to you, Doctor. But first, let's have a little bit of fun first.
I'm going to kill you, but first a musical interlude.
And they play Boney M's Rasputin.
Yes.
Which,
best
listen.
Scene of the episode.
It's very good, but I mean, like, I again have to raise my point.
See, I was pissed. I was angry. I was angry when the song started. And then you see Whittaker's face. If anyone else in Session did one, it wouldn't work. But he sells it beautifully.
And the really great part of it is when the Dalek and the Cybermen look at each other like, what the fuck?
That's a reaction gif waiting to be made, that.
No, it's already been made.
It's already been made. Post it, whatever. Yeah, but also, like, again, when you're referencing literally everything and every little original idea, reminds me of something else because I'm in that mindset. So
yeah, it could be this was not
thinking,
meant to harken back to the sound of drums at all.
But when every fucking element of the episode is, you're just stuck in that mindset. You understand what I'm saying?
I completely understand.
Oh, I love how while the master is just dancing away.
He's even Cossack dancing just to make it even better.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
And also Vinder, by the way, yeah, Vinder's back.
Oh, my cheeks are starting to hurt.
Vinder's like got his phone, like, Doctor, you once gave me this if I need your help, and I think I need your help. And behind him, the TARDIS is like, lights are blaring, the song's getting louder.
The Master's TARDIS, by the way. We haven't talked
about
it.
The Master's TARDIS. That was the ha-ha-ha thing from the trailer.
Yeah. We haven't talked about this, but it's on another planet that's over Earth in 1916. And it's the Cyber planet, which, hey, remember the 10th planet?
It's an artificial cyber planet that looks like the Death Star.
Yeah, welcome to the husk of Gallifrey, which the Cyber Lords have turned into the Death Star.
Wait, is it the husk of Gallifrey?
It's the husk of Gallifrey.
I missed that.
No, I missed that too.
Holy cow!
This fucking planet gone now.
And that's what that child was there. The child was
I don't
actually.
think it was the husk of Gallifrey.
No,
because when we saw Gallifrey in End of Time, it was like the size of Jupiter compared to Earth, and here this is just like a moon.
I'm telling you that's what it's both implied and said is that this is the.
All right, if it's there, it's there.
If you caught that and I didn't, then fair enough, Mike. Because.
So basically, the Master looked to his home planet and said, "I know the perfect thing we can do."
Hey, remember the day of the Doctor when we saved this planet? Fuck it, it's gone now.
Tonight on DIY SOS, the Master turns his home planet into a Death Star.
Basically, the Master at this point has become the Emperor, and the Cybermen have become the Empire.
Read about it in his new book. The man who turned the planet into a Star Wars allegory.
Oh no. Oh god, no.
And we should mention, Vinder is here because that child from the opening is a being of energy called the Quarunks. And my sound quality was awful throughout the recording I was watching, so I kept hearing the current.
I heard quadrant.
It's Qurunx.
The Qui-Quad.
The Deus Ex Machina, and it's been chained up to this cyber planet to be a power source. Because that's what a Qurunx is. It's sentient energy. Again, there's a concept you could do a lot more with.
Also, this still would make sense if it was a timeless child, and I thought maybe the Doctor is a Qurunx.
No, we'll never find that out now.
See,
no, Chibnall's done with that.
Yeah, what was kind of funny as we're now getting close to that point in the episode is it dawned on me right here at this point after the Master had said force regeneration that the Doctor's second regen cycle is starting to copy his first.
Yeah.
First Doctor died by Cybermen. 12th Doctor, dead by Cybermen. Second Doctor, dead by force regeneration. 13, in my opinion, dead by force regeneration.
I get you. It is like the War Games. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, remember that story?
Yeah. And the 14th Doctor, that's the kind of words we'll have to open later. But, because I was not expecting that. I knew that actor was back, but I was not expecting that. But
I was.
No, not the regeneration. Not the regeneration, Frezno. Something else. But yeah. So the whole point of everything the Master has done to this point was to get the Doctor to this exact spot so he can do a forced regeneration.
Hey, y'all remember the TV movie?
Do you remember the War Games?
Yeah, this is literally the
Remember?
TV.
No, remember?
No critique, only remember.
what's kind of horrifying is that this is the TV movie plot done honestly better than the TV movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
But also, yeah, so basically, well, the plan isn't just, oh, I'm going to live because I'm out of regenerations. It's, oh, I'm going to take your body, and then I'm going to do evil, and I'm going to be like, hi, I'm the Doctor. I do bad things.
I actually love this.
Rainier, before we continue, I just got a ding on Discord, and my friend found the full clip of the Master Dance.
Of course they did.
Of course, but
Because everyone must remember the Master Dancing to Rasputin now.
but also this bit, and it's another like callback Easter egg thing, but it almost says something about something because the Master as the Doctor doing all this evil shit. His costume is just a mishmash of all the other Doctor's costumes.
Yeah.
So he's got the question mark pullover. He's got a jacket with a little celery lapel. He's got the scarf. He's got a recorder. Like, it's just a mishmash of all the Doctors. Like, look at all this stuff. I'm Doctor Who, and it's like that almost says something.
You can actually see him. Even at the very beginning, you could actually see like, yes, it's the Master, but even at like his first scene, you can tell that there ain't something here. Master's not fully here right now, because you can see it. Like yes, he's acting all evil and grandiose like he normally does, but then you start like noticing like how different he is, even from his own body to here.
And does this count as regeneration, or is this a body hijack? What's going on here?
To me, it's a body hijack. Like I called it a mind meld. I said to Frezno, remember Spock's brain?
Now we're going with remember Star Trek. Remember Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Remember the Khan screen. Remember the Mirror Universe. Remember the Tholians. Remember Goatee. Wait, shit, I'm bitching about
Also, they missed a trick here because you've got.
Pull back, Frez. Pull back.
You've got Session 1 in Jodie's outfit initially before he goes with the whole mishmash of old Doctor costumes. And fair play to him for that. And was a wonderful backstage photograph of him in the outfit and Jodie in the outfit, just having an absolute blast together. But we never see the Master. I suppose the Master's prime body. We never see its face. So did they swap faces?
Honestly, I think it either looked like it was just there, or he probably even didn't have a face.
Because I'm not sure how I would have felt with
Idiot's Lantern.
I'm not sure I would. Stop it, Frez. I'm not sure how I would have felt about Jodie Whittaker with big long hair and a big bushy beard.
A big bushy beard. Remember Hot Fuzz?
Frez.
But I want to make a point, if I may.
Yes.
The Master in this mishmash of Doctor costumes and being like, I'm the Doctor. Oh, it's like that's almost saying something about something. Like it's taking that familiar continuity and turning it against you, and then like you have to have the Yaz bring it all together again to fight back. So that almost is something about something. There's like.
That like, and to me, like that's like a really cool thing is because you have the Master now landing in the future wearing honestly a pretty cool outfit, even though it is, as Frez said, remembering all the other Doctors, which oh boy when we get to the next part. But you see him in that outfit, and then you see Yaz start to like put it together in her head. And she's like, I can't let him. I can't let him do anymore. Like, I have to do something. And so she basically just body checks him, shuts the door, and runs.
Yeah, and now Yaz can pilot the TARDIS because she learnt from the notes or something. I'll let that slide because the idea of Yaz being the Doctor, when the Doctor is not available, is a great idea.
It's the most has
my God, the Master's been knocked off the chair.
Remember Clara Oswald?
Oh God.
Because Clara Oswald is way better than this shit. But this is nice for Yaz.
I'm going to have to sedate you by the end of this, aren't I?
We finally have character for Yes.
It's too bad it's a final episode.
Yes, but we finally have character.
It's too bad we forget all of that character in the last 10 minutes. But yeah, we have a character, and honestly, Mandip Gill is pretty great here.
I can't fault Mandip Gill here. This is good. I mean, stepping up, taking action, being like, right, I'm gonna fucking stop the master.
This is what she should have been doing from the start, but
yeah. Remember what about that? What would the doctor do? Bullshit from last year. Where did that go? Ooh, I'm gonna pine after a hologram for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then just go back to this shit.
But while Yaz is doing her thing and she gathers up Vinda to get some help, we have it's all about nostalgic scenes. So the regeneration has taken place by force, but 13's not gone, not entirely. She wakes up in a mysterious landscape she's never seen before, and a figure greets her, and oh god! So I should point out that before this,
before you start on that before you say that, before you start on that Rainiac, I need to put this in because this is one of the points that actually it's a good scene, but that one single line infuriated me.
Okay.
Oh.
It's if you don't know, when you are writing something, it's like you are looking in on these people actually doing things, and you are the one telling the story. So that's what you're doing. You're writing out a story. What you don't want to do, what you never want to do, is you don't want to be like, oh, I know, oh, write in one of my own thoughts that a character says.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And then, oh my god! So in this scene where you have Jodie Whittaker basically walk up and she sees, sitting on this rock, she sees her first self, and her first self looks to her with a smile and is like, "Well, you have determination, don't you?" What a strange! What was the? I wrote the line down because it pissed me off.
Compassion.
No, It's not compassion.
It's not compassion.
What a strength of character this incarnation has.
Yeah, you're certainly one of the more determined of us, or something along those lines as well. But, yeah.
Okay, it just took you right out of it.
It does.
That's literally Chibnall waving to the camera, being like, "Hi, guys."
I'm here as well in this episode, packed with 15,000 references. This line is my self-insert. Hi.
Remember Chris Chibnall?
I'll let you have that one because that's actually quite funny. But
okay, yeah, this is the it's the old Doctor cameo jamboree. We've got David Bradley playing the first Doctor, and we've got 5, 6, 7, 8. No,
okay,
really,
Steps.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
Okay, Steps.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul McGann's first televised appearance in Doctor Who since the TV movie. And it happens in a Chris Chibnall episode.
Night of the Doctor.
Not the Doctor.
That didn't air on television.
That was made for web.
Okay, I thought it aired on television as well, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Also, this technically means, Rainiac, that we've done it again, since we just finished Colin Baker. And here he fucking is again!
Breaking NDA like a boss.
He didn't break NDA on this shit, I was surprised!
No, this was a lovely surprise, actually, that this didn't leak out. So well done to everyone who attended the premiere. You didn't reveal any of this, and I'm glad.
Yeah, I just... See, if you get one of these, because they're all four of them, are like 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all best friends because of what they do for Big Finish. If you got one of them, you're getting all four of them.
And I do like that they actually tied directly the countdown they did for this episode, because they had like each day the Doctor Who Twitter would put up a regeneration of a different Doctor for about 2 weeks leading up to the finale. And the first one was both William Hartnell and David Bradley. So I think in their own way they were kind of hinting maybe he's going to be there, but I didn't think of that. I just thought, they're just going to do all the Doctors, and they're including all of the Doctors. And you can't do Richard Herndl because he didn't regenerate, so fair enough. But
and also that he's passed away.
You can include a clip of him, but not if there's no clip to include.
I laughed so hard when it was like when Jodie looks at him after he's like trying to build her up. They're all trying to like build her up and be like, "You gotta fight the mask, you gotta fight. You can't give up." And she just looks to 8, who's still in his war attire, and is like, "Wait, why aren't you?" Looks down. "I don't like robes." 7 comes in.
There's always one. I will say the effect on them switching wasn't the best. It looked a little bit ropey, but I can forgive that when this is just glorious. And we need a Paul McGann series like yesterday.
Please, Davies, it is now time. He works on television. You have the concept. Here it is. He works. Go for it.
Yeah, we're not getting any more televised Who until November of next year. This would have filled in the gap. But no, he'll just stick to Big Finish, where he is terrific, but still, that's Big Finish and not TV. I'm not knocking Big Finish.
Where did you come from?
This. Somewhere in the background, no one can see is Sheridan Smith, thinking, "Hey, why am I here?" But yeah, this scene is great, and then it actually continues into another couple of appearances by past Doctors. The 2 we've seen at the because these are the Guardians of the End. The idea is that they are, every time the Doctor regenerates, I suppose like the afterlife and the point of no return, but a vestige of them remains to help the next one pass, I guess.
And they were here to basically tell her, "What the hell are you doing? You gotta stop here. Moment you go over, it's done."
Yeah, but also, you've hung around a lot longer than the others, maybe because your time is not yet done. So we have that, but then we have...
And Peter Davison's in robes like, "Oh, you bumped your head, you dingus."
Imagine Tennant. Like Tennant regenerated into himself, and then he regenerated at the end. That all the other like 10 Doctors must have just been looking at him like, "Really?
Yeah.
Why are you here again?"
So one of the things that's going to help Yaz with her grand plan is a version of the Doctor, a hologram that she invented, which has like interface and it reacts to people depending on who they're speaking to, and it can change appearance and things like that. And so,
remember Bad Wolf Parting of the Waves?
Will you stop?
I won't stop because Chibnall didn't stop.
Excuse me for a moment because I am now grabbing tissues.
Okay, Mike. I think you should take.
Yeah, because you have a particular affinity with the Fifth Doctor era.
Yeah.
So I'll just set this up. So earlier in the episode, the Doctor touched Tegan, Ace, and Yaz respectively, and there was like a static electricity. She passed, "Oh, I'm very staticky today." She was actually implanting a nanochip on their clothing so that she could contact them. Okay. But again, I'll forgive that clunky setup because it sets this up, and oh my god. So, Tegan and Ace are fighting off the Cybermen. The gold bullets don't work. Congratulations, you remembered Nightmare in Silver. So they've got to get out of the building. Kate's going to go down with the ship and try and buy them time. They go to the roof to parachute down. Tegan says, "No, I caused this. I'm going to stop it." So she goes back in before the shutters go down. But then Tegan is visited by the ghost of Dr. Past.
Tegan is basically terrified. She's starting to remember. She remember. You can plainly tell she's remembering Earthshock. And she's crowded. She's crowded, hiding away from, and she can hear Cybermen all around her. And then 13 appears, and she's like, "I gotta help you. I can help you. What do you need? You gotta stop them." And he's like, "Well, I don't know what's going on. What do you mean?" And then as she's talking to him, you see her form start. You see 13's form start flickering and flickering and flickering, until It's Peter Davidson. It's the Fifth Doctor. It's her doctor. And she stops for a minute and she's like, oh, please. Oh, no. And so you basically just, they get into a little spat with each other over, again, Tegan left angrily, with 5. She was done. She said it stopped being fun. And she's like, do you even remember me? And 5 says, I remember everybody. I know I still cared. I still care about everybody. And so she asked him, well, then, if you know me, then what am I thinking right now, surrounded by all these freaking Cybermen? And he looks at her for just silent for a moment. And he goes, Patrick?
Yeah.
And you can tell instantly all the anger just gone. And then he looks at it, he looks at her, smiles a bit, and goes, now, Braveheart.
Yeah. And also the idea that the thing is that when he says Adric, the hologram becomes solid for a moment. And can we also give credit to the fact that Chris Chibnall did not use any kind of de-aging on these actors?
Thank God for that.
It was, because honestly, in my head, it kind of made sense that to them this isn't a hologram. To them, this is the Doctor in their own head.
That's exactly what I think it is.
Yeah. If I may take on the Ace part, unless you have more to say on this night.
I have one last thing, which is after she finally lets herself, say, and lets the grief go and all the resentment, and she says, I missed you. And he says, I do too. Now go on, get out of here, and off she goes to run off to try and save the day, which then cuts us neatly back to the volcano. Frezno?
So, to set up context, Yaz is recruiting companions and getting them in on her plan. And she's picked up Ace, who has parachuted off of Unit HQ in the TARDIS, in the admittedly cool shot, and is basically like, hey, you want to go fuck up some Daleks in Bolivia? Fuck yeah, I do, says Ace, who also in this scene is now wearing the jacket and wielding her bat, which looks just like the bat from 1963, which... Let's not get into nitpicky, but that bat was actually destroyed by the power of the Hand of Omega. Who cares? It's fucking same bat.
I think she said it was a different. She developed the bat again or something, but
which that raises a lot more fucking questions. But I digress. So she's in this volcano in Bolivia. The Daleks are ready to drill hole. It's literally the plot of the first Austin Powers movie. That's Dr. Evil's plot. I'm going to drill a hole and make every volcano in the world erupt. But, so she's in this volcano in Bolivia, and she's getting Nitro 9 ready, because, of course, I remember when she had that. And she's talked to by her hologram, which is a hologram of the 7th Doctor. And so, since Mike covered Tegan and 5, his Doctor and Companion, only fair that I cover my classic Doctor and Companion in this scene, which is nice because it doesn't really canonize any weird way that Ace left. They just sort of drifted apart and grew apart, and she left, which is a less extreme retelling of what happens in Love and War. Let's put it like that. But they talk, and they have an honest heart-to-heart where it's like, Ace, I was only ever trying to teach you good habits. Obviously, I failed. You never failed, Professor. You made me the person I am today. I didn't, and she says, well, now I understand the burden you carried. All children leave home sooner or later. The joy is to watch them fly. Are we good, Doctor? Oh, we're more than good. We're Ace. And it's like, okay, look, I'm going to get cynical in a moment, but I will say, it didn't have me weeping like Mike did, but kind of hit me in the feels. I am not immune to nostalgia. I'm not. And having these characters who I learned to grow and love 11 years ago when I got into classic Doctor Who, having them meet up again and share some wisdom in their old age and with age and experience and all that, it's kind of nice. On the other hand, can we really praise Chibnall? because the emotion is less something that Chris Chibnall invented and more him playing off of our pre-existing nostalgia and love for these characters that the writers of the 80s created and bolstered. So there's something to put your head on. When you hear Tegan and Nate, are you thinking of, oh wow, Chibnall is so well done, or are you remembering the well done times from before?
I do see your point there, but also I love the fact that in these two scenes, Chibnall, and he did write these scenes, so we have to give him some credit, gives both Tegan and Ace closure, but gives the audience closure about Tegan and Ace as well.
Which,
what kind of, to kind of build on your point, Frez, and actually on Rainiacs now, it's not the dark suited 7.
No.
It's the white coat 7.
Yeah.
That season 24-25 coat. So that's well, that's how she remembers him, I guess.
Remembers him the most fondly is with the white coat.
She would remember the season 25. Well, she remembers the season 24 one too because Dragonfire, but I'm getting into the whole thing. Okay, so the point is, it has to be said, and yes, I will give to Chibnall the credit here that he took upon the framework of what the other writers had did before to create these moving, engaging send-offs and closures for these classic Doctor Who companions. It's great. I'll give him a little round of applause here. Now, let's see what he does with his own Doctor and companion.
Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it?
Ooh, it's
I
great
feel like
when you can...
Chibnall is better at writing other people's characters than his own.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's great when you pick up someone else's framework and add to it and do the callbacks. But when you've got your own framework and you had to do something, well, we'll get to that. But oh yeah, speaking of nostalgic callbacks, Ace is in this volcano ready to fuck up a Dalek, and who is she almost about to bash in the head? But Bradley Walsh.
Yeah,
hi,
Graham O'Brien.
Where'd you come from? Why are you in Bolivia? This is Bolivia.
Well, I do like the scene with the psychic paper, because he was given the psychic paper at the end, wasn't he? When he left.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And he sort of comes up with this story like Arnold Palmerson. And he sort of gives like this guff, and then Ace just says, oh, I see, Graham O'Brien, friend of the Doctor, worried about what we're going to do with all these Daleks. She can like read his fears on the psychic paper. It's kind of great.
It's kind of, I know, but that's also kind of funny that all the Doctor's companions basically, the psychic paper doesn't work.
And then we get a Graham and Ace ship. I shall call it Grace. And
oh god!
Oh
no!
God!
I love this when she says, "I'm Ace." Yeah, you are.
Oh god!
I have to say about the jacket. Oh my god! I know, nostalgia, too much nostalgia bad, but the jacket. Let's not get into how the jacket still fits her 30 years down the line, when she wasn't even fully grown yet. It's a great little throwback, and hitting the Dalek with a baseball bat. It's shameless, but I had a big grin on my face the entire time.
I am not immune to nostalgia. This
was great.
You want funny? This Dalek prop is the prop they use for the traitor Dalek, because you can tell the exact places where she hit the Dalek here. It's the same places where the Dalek was injured.
Okay, that's hilarious.
You want to know something else that's hilarious? I think Chibnall deliberately knows some of his critique. You know how people have criticized the what do you call them? Establishing location title cards? Like Bolivia!
Yeah.
Cambridge 19... That shit... When the Daleks do their plan and all the volcanoes are erupting, he fires off 3 of those in a row, rapid fire. Ecuador! Peru! And that shit.
By your powers combined, I am Mount Cotopaxi.
He had to have been doing that shit on purpose.
He did. You've just reminded me of one of my favourite Pip edits for Spyfall Part 1.
Well, you want to talk about wonderful Pip edits? Well, let me just go.
Oh, now you got going.
No. But he basically made fun of the fact that people say, oh, there's too many, 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 there's t captured insert. So he put more into Spyfall Part 1, and my favourite one is the Master's TARDIS of Australia. Shit, sorry, ignore the previous caption.
So, Yaz has recruited Vinder and Ace, and who else did she get? Oh, yeah.
It's Vinder and Ace, Tegan and Kate when they come out of Unit HQ. They don't know about Graham at this point.
Well, the Doctor picks up Tegan and Kate.
Yeah, that's right. But we need to get to why that she's able to pick up Tegan and Kate, because I'm afraid they've done it again, haven't they? They've made the Cybermen and Daleks look like utter chumps.
This is how. Yeah, this is their defeat. Which.
Firstly, another old phrase from the past returns to get rid of the Cybermasters.
Hello, Joe Martin. How you doing?
It's kind of funny how it's kind of funny how the Master, it doesn't even take him more than a second to realize who he's facing. But the moment he does, it's like, quick fire! Oh wait.
Yeah, she's a hologram.
And say so. This is another trend I've noticed with Chibnall. So the Cybermasters all are surrounding Joe Martin and they fire her, but she's a hologram, so they all shoot each other. He did this shit in Eve of the Daleks too, didn't he?
Yeah, the two Daleks shooting each other.
And it's like, I don't like the Doctor using guns. I know, I'll trick the baddies into shooting each other. That will kill them.
And there you go.
And there's Mike posting.
Jesus Christ!
What's that? Quantum Leapo? You want to talk about a single drop of rain?
Did somebody tweet when Liz Truss resigned saying, "Good job, Sam. Now leap away." Mission accomplished. Now go.
Hey, Mike, where's Ben going tonight? I didn't see a teaser. Where's Ben going tonight?
Where's the mute button?
Where's Dr. Ben Song from the year 2022 going?
Where's the mute button?
But yeah, so the Cybermasters, they all get knocked down. But like Chumblewoman said, they get up again. You're never going to keep them down. But they have a plan.
We do, because this was part of Yaz's master. Sorry. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about another egregious continuity reference earlier on.
This is one of the ones that made me go, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah. As I'm working with the Daleks. We're thinking of calling this the Master's Dalek Plan or the Dalek Master Plan. I can't decide.
Oh, at that point, you know what? You should just pick the Dalek Master
Oh
Plan.
my god, I can't decide.
I didn't even catch that second part. Fuck!
Damn it!
Remember 2007?
No, remember 1964.
Remember?
No, we can't, because it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh god. Okay, but anyway, this is all part of Yaz's plan, which is basically get the Master back into the fucking booth, and then as the Cybermasters regenerate, she siphons their regeneration energy back up into the thingamabob.
So they're dead and gone forever now. Bye.
That flip-flops them back. And the Doctor is back to being Jodie Whittaker, and the Master is back in his original body.
There is also a great bit with Vinder where it's like he's got his gun and he says, "Oh yeah, the Doctor's companions never would." He just shoots me and goes, "I'm freelance."
Ow, fuck!
Which actually is a great way to explain why he would shoot. Like he's not a companion.
There you go.
Now, you guys may have different opinions on this, but to me, this is where the Doctor's death warrant was signed, where it's in, where's the switch back.
Yes.
Because honestly, this is now we're gonna go on to the other scene in a bit, but body let's not forget, her entire body got taken over by the Master. That is incredible mental strain on basically a
absolutely
being.
And as soon as she said, "I've got a new list on life," I thought, well, there goes the death flag being raised to full height.
Yeah, and then when she flips back, all that stress and all that strain, especially what she did before and what she's about to do. Yeah, this is it. This is where Jodie Whittaker gets dealt her death blow.
She does.
Here.
I agree with you.
I I can vibe with that. I mean, on watch, I thought it was later when the Master does this thing, but I can see where you come from. But so the Cyber Masters are defeated. I almost said deleted.
It works.
Remember 2006?
I mean, they're not just defeated. They've lost the ability to regenerate, so they are dead for real now. They're gone. They're not coming back.
By the way, fun fact: with not only the Master but the Cyber Master surviving, Ko Sharmus' sacrifice in the Timeless Child was entirely pointless.
Yeah, but I kind of said that was the case back when we reviewed Timeless Children.
It was even more pointless because they turned Gallifrey into a freaking Death Star.
Yes, that is.
Hang on, I gotta look at the transcript and see if the words Gallifrey.
I don't doubt him. If he says that, I believe him. But
created by the Master on Gallifrey.
So the Doctor is once again the Doctor. We'll just touch on what happens to the other two elements of the Alliance, because it does not end well for either of them. The Daleks get blown up by Nitro 999.
Oh, for God's sakes!
Which I guess is like a souped-up version of Nitro 9 that Ace has been working on for 30 years.
Oh my God!
And the volcanoes get metal on them, so that's not going to mess up the world.
Quick, Ace, find the digital route.
No.
Hey.
No! And the Cybermen is perhaps the stupidest one of all, because...
So, we should mention the scene with Kate.
Oh, yeah, I was building to this. This is actually quite a great scene for Kate. She uses the Cybermen's logic against them. She puts up a laser shield and says, "It will shred at least some of you before you get to me, but I will surrender if you promise to release the rest of my soldiers. You can have me, you can convert me, because I'm of higher strategic value," which of course is what the Cybermen are requiring here. So they agree to the trade. I don't think they have any intention of actually keeping the promise, but they agree to the trade. She turns the laser grid off. They take her to the basement to be converted. And then Tegan's been climbed down a lift shaft to get to the power, and then she gets grabbed from behind through the wall by a cyber arm.
Not grabbed, shot at. Like, he literally punches through the wall.
Yeah, and then he grabs her around the neck. He's trying to strangle her. And then Tegan beats the Cybermen by pulling out the Ethernet cable.
So basically, they did percussive maintenance, and that beats the Cybermen. And
for some reason, that electrocutes all the Cybermen, and they're dead. Okay.
We almost lost. We almost lost Kate. Let's see, like she was in the chair.
Yeah, we almost lost Kate. I'm glad we didn't for the scene that we get after they escape the building before it crumbles to dust. That's the thing, by the way. Kate sends Tegan to basically level Unit HQ and everyone in it.
Lovely. So wait. So the whole so either this was like she genuinely thought she was gonna save her soldiers and sacrifice herself, or like.
I think she thought she was going to sacrifice everyone, and she was buying time for a rescue. But if it didn't come, she was prepared to go out heroically and save the world at least from the Cybermen, at the cost of her life and the lives of everyone else in the building.
Well, they all died.
But Tegan and Kate do not. I get the impression is that they were going to level the building, but then the hologram said, "Oh, if you do this, and this to Tegan, this will happen to the Cybermen," and she follows it despite being strangled. Ashard's also gone. I mean, he's half human, so he gets a bolt of lightning right through his chest. It's kind of gnarly. And he's gone too, the clone Ashard. So that was sure worth it. So all the companions have survived. Kate gets a wonderful moment where she's invited into the TARDIS. And she can't quite believe it.
She tries to hide it. You can see the joy on her face.
And Tegan's like, and yes, I would like to go to the TARDIS, thank you very much. And then Kate's like, "Oh, me? Oh, great." So they're all in there. She uses a crew of, hang on, Vinda, Yaz. Yeah, crew 6.
Hey, remember Journey's End?
That this is Journey's End.
Yeah,
Like,
thank you for that. But Crew 6, because that's what the TARDIS is supposed to be piloted by, as referenced in Journey's End, and they basically undo everything that the Master did. She frees the Quaruncs, or whatever you want to call it, but this is where she actually seals her own fate.
So before we get to her using the Death Star to basically freeze all the volcanoes with metal, and she gets under the Master's TARDIS and she's put her. She actually, now I heard some. I'm checking it. It sounds like it was there. It may be, but it sounds like she literally called the Master's TARDIS like a Type 45. Like
A
that's
Type
what I heard.
75.
75.
75. Ooh. So it's like you have the Doctor's Type 40, and then you have the Master's one up here.
So hang on. I just want to go back to what did you say that they do to the volcanoes, Rain?
I think they sort of encase the endings in metal, or they freeze it, or something.
I would like to share with you a piece from, and I'm going to do it on the show. I'm going to do it. You can't stop me. We're referencing God knows all this other shit. I can't tell you who this is because they are a main antagonist of Symphogear Season 5. But I would like to quote from the wiki one of this antagonist's powers.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
And Mike, I don't know if you know what's coming.
Oh!
Chibnall, have you been watching Japanese cartoons?
No!
Japanese cartoons.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the Doctor Who crossover with everything.
I mean, if Doctor Who's going to reference every bit of itself, I'm going to reference all my bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, Rain, when's season 4? When you getting back to season 4?
When I've got a moment, good god.
Well, it's not like I ask you every day.
I was literally in a dentist's chair 6 hours ago. Lay off.
I'm actually shocked you were able to keep still after you were laughing so hard from Rasputin.
I'm about to Rasputin again. I should say, by the way, that Rasputin scene. I know there's like been like people return to the show after many long years, but we forgot one, didn't we? Boney M. I mean, 1976 Destiny of the Daleks, and now here.
My God.
79, but I get where you're coming from.
Oh come on! Don't ruin the joke with accurate facts.
Well, technically, Rainiac, we're gonna get close to we're close to a person who throws that out of the water. So
the 6 was upside down, okay. But yeah, this is where the Doctor basically seals her own fate for this regeneration, because she says to the Quaruncs, "I'm gonna free you because you should be free to roam the universe. But before you go, could you use your energy to disintegrate this planet and everything on it?" And she does say everything on it. So she means get rid of the artificial Death Star, get rid of the Master's TARDIS, perhaps get rid of the Master, and the Master shows up. Very badly injured at this point, possibly dying, because
probably dying.
The process of switching to her and then switching back has made his body unstable. Hi, End of Time, how you doing? And
hungry.
He's like almost asking her for mercy or help, and she's like, "You do this to yourself." And she's about to walk away, and he says, "Well, if I can't be the Doctor, then neither can you." And he does something to the Quaruncs, like changes the trajectory of the beam, and it goes right through 13's body. And then the Master collapses and appears to die, so we'll see him in 5 years' time. Probably played by a different actor, but he will be back. Or she will be back. They will be back in some form.
Also, because of that, let's welcome back an old friend from the last episode that we thought would not be mentioned again.
Who was this?
No, it is Tasman.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where we pay off all the bullshit, you know. So like I said when we were talking about the Tegan 5 and 7 scenes, having seen how Chibnall can handle a graceful final departure of Doctor and Companion, well, how does he handle his very own creation? Oh.
Like shit.
Okay, so Rain,
Yeah.
I have points to say, but Rain, or Mike, one of you, run through what the hell happened.
So
do you
sorry,
want to
go
go,
on.
Rainier?
Go on, Mike.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, Yaz carries 13 into the TARDIS, and she's already like starting to glow. Like you can tell she's starting to glow, and all the other companions are worried about her. But she slowly loses consciousness, and you think that's it. That this is how she regenerates around her family, quote unquote.
Nope.
And it then cuts to her waking up with her head on a pillow, and she's getting up, and she's still herself. Yaz is piloting the TARDIS again, and she's like, "Well, I dropped everyone back home, like how you want, and everything's fine, right? We can keep going."
Can I interject because
Yeah.
this is another fucking continuity reference that made me yell. Yeah, it says, "Oh, I dropped them off in Croydon," which is a fucking reference to Sarah Jane's departure.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're trying to have a moment here. Stop. Remember the Hand of Fear? Remember when Sarah Jane left? Remember.
So now, yeah. Next time we see Kate, they're gonna have Unit HQ in Croydon. Watch. But anyway,
go back to it.
She walks up, and they're all happy, and then Yaz looks to her hand and says, "Doctor," and she lifts up her hand, and her hand is glowing. And and 13's like, "No, I still have stuff to do. No, why?" And Yaz is starting to cry. Like Yaz is actually starting to tear up because she knows what's about. Weirdly, she knows what's about to happen. Probably she saw the master and realized, yeah. So 13 looks to Yaz with a smile and says, "One more trip. Where do you want to go?" And so she picks eating ice cream with her doctor, overlooking the earth on top of the police box. And Yaz says she never wants to leave. She never wants to leave. She doesn't want to go and leave the doctor. But 13 looks to her and says, "What I must do now, what must happen, I must do it alone."
Oh, I have so many problems with this.
Me too.
So apparently the doctor decides, instead of having it like 9 or anyone or a few other doctors where she has people with her to make sure she's okay, she's like, "You know what, yes, you like me, and I liked having you around and stuff, but you know what, get the hell out, I need to do this for myself."
Yeah.
Perry, get out of this TARDIS right now.
Rose, get out of here. I have to do this alone. Clara, what are you doing here? Get out of here. I do this shit all by myself. And
Perry!
People think...
Perry, Perry, you drank... Oh, Perry, you drank the antidote. You're alive. Excellent. Get out of here.
But it's even worse because,
Adric, Tegan, Nissa? Oh, you're here under the radio tower. Leave! Okay,
Yeah.
okay, but like...
It's okay, yeah, you've made your point, but it's even worse than that because this is Yaz's exit from the show. This is Yaz's exit from TARDIS life. And it's handled so poorly. And having just built her up as the Doctor, when the Doctor herself is absent, stepping up, doing the right thing, defeating the Master, defeating the Cybermasters, pretty much, well, not by herself, but coming up with a plan to do it with a little bit of help from her friends. And this is how you end it?
To be fair. Right? I have an analogy to make, and it'll go back to Dan, too. Do you remember the end of The Vanquishers from last year?
I do.
With that watch? The watch that that had all her memories in it, and she looks at it and she's like, I could find the pass I was looking for. But then she decides, no, I would rather drop it in the TARDIS and forget about it. Now, when I critiqued that at the time, it did not feel like a decision that the Doctor. It felt like a decision, and this is coming back to your point, Mike, about how Chibnall inserted himself into that mindscape scene. It felt like Chris Chibnall was making the decision for her. I don't want to write about the watch anymore, and so Doctor Who is going to drop the watch in here, whatever her thoughts on it be damned. And so, horrifically, Chibnall has applied this logic to the companion departures. Yaz leaves the TARDIS because Chibnall is leaving the show, and, well, Russell T Davies isn't writing Yaz, so she leaves. The Doctor kicks her out because she's about to terminate. That's it. She leaves because I'm done. That's the fucking way that you deal with the longest running companion. Fucking insulting, ridiculous, and just a complete letdown, and exactly what we should have expected from Mr. Chibnall, who can't end a fucking thing to say about bone in his body.
Yeah, is one of the longest. You want to know who is longer than Yaz?
Who's that?
Clara.
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
Technically, yes.
Well, even like, and it sucks. Like, for 4 years of fucking nothing, she gets this, and then it's just like it's right back to the same thing. I have to regenerate on my own because the writer said so. Bye.
And the fact that Yaz accepts it with a glance to her, and then she's gone. Oh my god.
But here's Yaz got something. At least Yaz got a consolation prize. And let's talk about her consolation prize.
Well,
okay.
I will say before that, no Phasmin, no kiss, no mention, no nothing.
There was a kiss. There was a kiss if you saw it.
Oh.
When she carries him to the tub, she kisses the Doctor on the cheek. The Doctor does not reciprocate. The Doctor's unconscious.
Oh, great. Well,
so there's a kiss,
you know what I mean.
but this is the first. Apparently, this is the first Doctor's tenure where the Doctor has not kissed anybody.
How convenient that she's
that you know what, Rainier, that right there. That's what makes me. Why can we not have? Why do we need a Doctor who needs to be in a freaking relationship? Why can't it be like the Doctor and his friends? Why can't it be he must be in a relationship?
Well,
yeah, but some of the kisses weren't even in a relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chibnall is the one who brought the Statsman shit up in the first place, and so again, like everything else, it's like, hey guys, I brought up Statsman. I know you exist. Oh, I'm done with it. Putting it away now. It's like, you poor queer-baited souls. I feel for you, but like you said, let's talk about Yaz's consolation prize.
Oh, this is something else. So when she steps outside the TARDIS, she is astonished to find Graham and Dan. Or perhaps Graham and Graham too. But
I'm shocked. Like honestly, seeing those two together, those two from how they are, those two would honestly be like best friends.
Yeah, they would. Notice, by the way, that in all of this, Toast and Cole nowhere to be found, never referenced once.
He's referenced.
He's referenced?
Yeah, someone asked where Ryan is.
Oh, right. But anyway, the consolation prize is that Graham's had a great idea. He's had these great adventures through time. But he can't talk about them with anyone because he'd be locked up for being mad. But there must be other people out there that had the same experience. So he's got them together and formed a support group. Welcome to Companions Anonymous, or as my dad called it. He said it's AA, or no, it's not. It's AW after who?
Oh my god! But here's the fucked up thing. Yaz's departure is swallowed up by, hey, look, here's a bunch of cameos.
One
should not be there because she should be in space.
She loses the dramatic resonance of that departure.
Because hey, look at these people. Look at all these people that me and Pete Matigue got to come back.
So we've got all the people from the episode we've seen before, and we've
I
also
say we
got,
don't-
for
I
God's
say we
sake,
do not mention the big one until the end. So don't mention
I'm not. But there are 3 other people in the support group we haven't seen yet. One of whom does absolutely nothing. And given who this character is criminal, she does nothing. It's Jo Grant, or Jo Jones as she is now.
Yeah, I mean, Jo is one of my favorite third Doctor companion. And she does fucking nothing here. Does she even have a line?
She
does.
gets
They
a line,
all
but you can
talk.
barely see what she says. I can't remember what she says. Mel
they
is
shoot her,
here
you
as
can't-
well, so that
Mel
mirror
should
thing.
be in space.
Yeah, you're right, but that without
Well,
meaning to be, the Daily Mirror got the leak right about her returning to the show, except not, because they said she was going to be back in the 60th anniversary. So they were
will tell,
talking out
Rain.
of their backsides.
Time will tell, Rain.
Time will tell. But the fact that she's here suggests that maybe not.
And the last phase.
And the last one, oh my God, this is a pick out of left field. We talked
Chatterton.
about long gaps between appearing on television. This has to set a record. Ian Chesterton's back.
I actually saw someone tweet to Guinness World Records about this. Like, hey, I'm pretty sure this is the longest time between appearances. In
Ian Chesterton, one of the very first companions.
the very first companion.
Yeah, 97-year-old William Russell, and he is back on Doctor Who, and he gets basically a couple lines. But I love the fact that when Dan is talking and he mentions her, he looks confused for a second and goes, "Wait, did you say her?" I honestly think he's sitting there right now going, "He kidnapped all you people?"
It's even funny when you consider he had never learned that the Doctor could regenerate.
No.
So it's like, for all he knows, the Doctor transitioned.
Yes.
So, well, in a way, she kind of did, because we're there,
Yeah, but he doesn't know about the concept.
Metaphors aside. Metaphors.
Yeah.
Joe pretty much, like, I love Mail Bay. It's like, he says, like, how many doctors in must it be now? And Joe goes like, we'll be here a while, because she saw 3 and 11.
Yeah. And now the people that I think are missing from the scene that could have been in it, which is either they refuse to be in it or they're being held back for later in the show's run.
I think, honestly, Chibnall, if he could have gotten, he got everyone he could. Like, that's honestly what I think.
And he contacted Tom Baker, but Tom Baker was unavailable as well, so that's why he's not in the
If
the
he
end.
could have had someone in, he would have. This is
Yeah.
the kind of
So
thing this
the
is.
fact that Caroline Ford's not there, then she didn't want to do it. I don't know.
Probably not. No, I-
There were two that we know that couldn't be in it for reasons. Caroline Ford was flat out told no, because again, she's Time Lord, and they literally do not want, for some odd reason. Hopefully Davies, since he's now has full control, can bring them back. But the BBC, since they were controlling Chibnall's run, they said no Time Lord companions, which means Romana and
Oh, for God's sake!
no.
Actually, I think the only person they could have included in that montage, if I'm thinking rightly, is Perry, because everyone else either departed like in outer space or is dead.
I forgot about
Well,
Perry.
Now, but
And the other one that he asked was Chibnall asked Tom Baker.
Yeah, I said that.
Chibnall asked Tom Baker, but Tom Baker said he didn't have he wanted to, but he didn't have the time to do it.
He wasn't available. Is the official line? Yeah.
either way, this is like, it's more that reference bullshit taking away from what should be the emotional goodbye of Yaz. It's just, you're not thinking, oh gosh, we're losing our long running companion. How sad. You're thinking, oh my god, it's that person I know.
Yeah.
And that just shows the priority of the show. But speaking of that priority, I guess we should get to the regeneration.
It's the end, but the moment has been prepared for. And actually, when I first watched this regeneration, I wasn't a huge fan. Then I took a couple of hours break, watched it again, And I thought, no, actually, this is about as close to perfect as they could get for her, because...
And for Chibnall.
For Chibnall, this is pretty damn good.
Because, really think about it, because she's regenerating on an ocean cliffside. He's gone back to Broadchurch.
Yeah, he has. But
So,
it's not inside the TARDIS, because as we've already said before, the TARDIS set was actually dismantled prior to this regeneration being filmed. So she gets this beautiful clifftop sunrise to see out her current regeneration. And it's shot beautifully. She gets a reference to the blossom... what was this? Blossom?
Daisy.
Yeah,
again.
that's it.
Oh my god, did they really? Oh, for
It's bringing up the daisies. I thought it was a Bad Wolf Bay reference, but it's not. Which would have been fitting in what's about to happen. But she's like, I wish I could stay and see what happens. Obviously she can't. And then the moment comes, the energy's swelling, and her final words, which actually are perfect for her on reflection.
Doctor, whoever you're going to be, tag, you're it. Explosion.
And this is the Doctor she should have been from the beginning.
well,
Hopeful, a little bit childish, innocent, before it was all muddled up by Flux and everything that came after it and before it. This is the Doctor she should have been. And at least he gets the final moments right here. If indeed that was him and not Davies.
I honestly hope this entire thing was written by Davies, because...
well, we do know that the aftermath of the scene was actually done later. So they had Jodie do her big regeneration because Chibnall didn't know if this was going to be the end or not. He was of the impression this might be the final Doctor Who episode. It wasn't going to get to the 60th anniversary.
So that's why he threw every fucking reference in.
I guess. But thankfully, it's not the end. Because she regenerates all right. But in a shocking twist that Frezno called 3 months ago, she doesn't regenerate into Ncuti Gatwa. She regenerates into David Tennant.
It's not just that I called that part. It's the fact that I called the exact parameters of what would happen.
I know this, Keith.
It is the most low-hanging fruit reference you could possibly go for when you learn in April David Tennant's coming back next year. She regenerates into Tennant. Tennant is confused and goes, "What? What? What?"
I'm about to make it more confusing.
Rainiac, I'm sorry, you're going to have to you're going to have to fiddle with the audio here, but I have to get one more bolsterous one in there. Remember 2007 when the show was good?
Oh my god, I'm deaf.
Now, I'm gonna say this and probably be chased out of the internet by half the internet with pitchforks and torches. But David Tennant is my least favorite Doctor. Do not like his era. Get
out right now. Get out.
Don't like Sam. But the thing that got me the most angry, especially since going in, I knew it was going to be retro regeneration. I knew, because they can't. Chibnall couldn't handle himself, or Davies, they couldn't handle themselves.
Low hanging fruit.
So getting to this part, having already seen the Doctor's return and all that happiness and all that in that wonderful ending line, I thought, oh, here we go. And I see Tennant, and I'm like, okay. And then you see him lick his teeth. It's like, I know these teeth. I'm like, oh, don't, please. What? And then he goes, what? In credits. Oh, God.
I'm about to make it worse, and I'm sorry.
Of course you are. What's worse?
We now have official confirmation. This is not the 10th Doctor. No. David Tennant is officially the 14th Doctor.
Of course he is.
Because Ncuti Gatwa is the 15th, as confirmed by Russell T Davies in a press release. And that's why the costume... By the way, the clothes regenerating? What?
That happened only one time in the Doctor's life, and that was from 1 to 2.
Well, the reason it happened is David Tennant refused to be in Jodie's outfit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, but one thing that is I honestly don't think this version of Tenet will be called 14. I think he'll get a non-number name, and the number will go back to Gatwa. But it's just really.
Yes.
I agree, but for right now at least, he is the 14th Doctor. It might get fixed later, but he is the 14th Doctor.
And next year we have to deal with Toymaker. Oh God.
But we don't know it's the Toymaker.
We don't know that.
We don't know it's the Toymaker. It has not been officially confirmed Neil Patrick Harris is playing the Toymaker. He's totally playing the Toymaker, isn't he? But it's not been officially confirmed yet.
Anyway, are we done with this madhouse?
We are, yeah. Apart from we'll do that after the final thoughts, because it goes into next time stuff. So, what did we all think? And bear in mind that we don't want to be here for the next 5 hours. What do we all think about the power of the Doctor? And I think Mike, being the guest, he should go first.
Okay, then let's get Mike go first.
Honestly, even though I complained at some bits and stuff like that, I honestly think that this is, funny enough, one of the better Chibnall episodes. Mainly because it's working off that framework and all that nostalgia. And yes, it gets annoying at some points, but you also do get like some of these fun scenes, like, again, I have to mention it, right? Freaking Master throwing all caution and sense to the wind and dancing to Rasputin, or the Doctors coming back, or the tearjerker and the heart wrenchers with Tegan and Ace finally being able to move on from their doctors. Yes, we do have like all this stuff boiled together. Yes, the plot doesn't make any sense, or if was there at all. But the main problem is that this episode, it should not have ended. It should have ended on the glow of Whittaker, fade to black. We should not have known. That is because then you could have gone into Tenet and have it shown there, bring interest and go, okay, now we got something to do. Now I'm interested. How did this happen? Why? And you can have all that explained. So so as a finale, it's Chibnall's best finale, I guess. I mean, that's the best I can say for it. Rainiac, you go. I know Frezno has, he's going to scream a lot, so Rainiac, you go next.
Oh, okay, I will go next then. So, I did not hate the power of the Doctor. In fact, I really like parts of the power of the Doctor. But the weird thing about this episode, and this is going to make no sense potentially, but all the nostalgia of this episode, and there's a lot of it, my God. There's references we haven't even touched on because we possibly missed them. But all that nostalgia is simultaneously the greatest strength and the greatest weakness of this story. Because all the best scenes, apart from the Master Destined to Rasputin, are built off the nostalgia. Ace getting closure with 7, Tegan getting closure with 5. Joe Martin coming back and helping Yaz thwart the Master. It's all built on nostalgia. All those are the best bits are nostalgia, but it's also the nostalgia that holds this era as a whole back. And the biggest problem for me is not anything that the episode did, it's what the episode didn't do. It didn't give us any closure on the Timeless Child. That Chibnall has torn down 60 years of the show's history and then done nothing with it to pay off. That is just terrible. That's a, I don't want to say it's a sin because, ding, but that is a huge, huge mistake in my opinion. And I think it's insulting and a disservice to the fans of this show. But I'm not going to go full, he's never done anything creative in his life. It's all destructive because that person is an idiot and should not be listened to. But is it better? Is it a good finale? It's not a bad finale. Is it better than Day of the Doctor? No, I'm sorry, it isn't. Because Day of the Doctor had a coherent plot. But I didn't hate it. And now I think it's time for Frez to get some things off his chest.
Actually, I don't hate it. Oh, you were expecting a big yell fest, weren't you? But no. I mean, I did a little yelling for the performity here, but like I said in the opening, I have mostly exercised that sort of bullshit from me. I'm like, we haven't said it yet, so I might as well. I mirror you on this, Rainiac. Doctor Who Mirror Alert. Doctor Who Mirror Alert. I didn't hate Power of the Doctor, but at the same time, my personal aesthetic is completely opposed to what this episode is doing. And you can really tell that when you compare it to Day of the Doctor, as a lot of its fans have been doing. Have been saying, oh, Day of the Doctor, oh, that's got nothing on this. Now, this is how you do an anniversary story, which is completely at odds with what I think. Because Day of the Doctor was fantastic. And it was an emotional finale that really resonated with the theme of trauma and the Time War, using that as a metaphor for Doctor Who's success in the modern age to heal the Doctor and heal the show itself. It was a wonderful episode, a wonderful metaphor. And you contrast that with Power of the Doctor, which is, hey, look, I loved it because it reminded me of all these other Doctor Who stories. And you nailed it perfectly, Rainiac, that it's a double-edged sword. Where just about everything good this episode is doing, aside from the Master Rasputin thing, is just building off of what came before. And when Chibnall has to build off his own shit, he just doesn't. He just doesn't. And you can really see that if you contrast it with Tegan 5, 7 Ace, and 13 Yeah. This does not go down in the annals. Maybe in fucking 40 years, some other showrunner is going to have an old Mandip Gill come across an old 13 hologram and redeem that. But until then, we got to stick with this. And this was one of the worst companion departures ever. And the regeneration I predicted, very unfortunate. But, I did not hate watching Power of the Doctor. But that doesn't mean that I could call it my favorite anything. Mike is right in that it is the best Chibnall finale, but it's really a lesser of two evils thing. Well, lesser of four evils, I guess. But, yeah. I didn't hate it. And that's the sign that I've mellowed out over my summer. But I honestly am glad to see the back of Chris Chibnall.
Yeah, I think I broadly echo those thoughts. And now, no more new Doctor Who until November of next year. First time we're not getting a holiday special of any description. My God. Since 2005.
Remember 2005 when the show was holiday themed?
Okay, that's it. That's enough now. We did get a brief teaser trailer. And this is where I got a bit of hope for the show. Because I think all the nostalgia being concentrated on this episode, this was almost like the 60th anniversary a year early. Let's be honest. I'm hopeful then that the specials will move away from that somewhat. We'll have some nostalgia, of course, with David Tennant back and Catherine Tate.
Can I make a comparison?
Go on.
The Day of the Doctor is to Power of the Doctor as the 3 Doctors is to the 5 Doctors.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
One's about, here's a couple of doctors, and we're healing a part of the show and opening it up to new adventures, versus, hey, it's an anniversary. Here's all that continuity shit you like. And the plot is just, well, whatever, string it along like this. We'll string it along to more references. But contrast that to the trailer we got.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is more closer to the 3 Doctors. And I think it will be in the way you've just talked about. We see David Tennant, Catherine Tate, Neil Patrick Harris is playing the villain. I'll just call him the villain for now, because we don't officially know who he is. But most importantly, we see the next Doctor. And I'm not talking about David Morrissey. We see Ncuti Gatwa for a second. But did you
Tell
pay
me-
attention to the background?
No.
I've got a theory.
What's your theory?
And I'll state the theory out right now, and if I'm wrong, fair enough.
Game theory!
Frez. Don't make me get the spray bottle. My theory is this. I think that scene of Gatwa is inside the limbo that Jodie was in. And he's trying to get out into the real world, and he can't. Because somebody's messed with the regeneration.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. That would make the most sense.
That's what I think it is. And if it's wrong, then great. I've not guessed it right, and I'll take that on the chin. I don't have to be right. It's just a theory. Do not say it. It's just a hypothesis. Gotcha. Try to turn that into a pun, asshole. But what are we actually doing next week? Because spooky season wraps up, and it's Frezno's pick. So do you have something spooky for us, sir?
You thought you were done with this era, but rising from the grave to strike back one more time, it's time for a spooktacular, horrific fucking confrontation of the deepest, darkest pits of the mind. Next time on Doctor Who Reviews, Colin Baker stars in the Lovecraft Invasion.
Oh my god.
What? You absolute
boy.
madman.
Oh boy.
Didn't see that one coming. Good God.
So, Doctors only ever faced Lovecraft twice. This and in one of the Virgin New Adventures. Both have their strengths. This one's a doozy.
Oh my God, I have to talk about how Lovecraft was not a good person. God damn it. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the audio does not flinch from that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because it shouldn't. But may I tell them where we can find us lovely people?
You sure can, Rainier.
Okay, well, you can find us lovely people on Twitter at ReviewsDoctor. Individually, we are at Whovian Michael. Have I got that right?
Whovian Michael.
Yeah, at Whovian Michael, at Rainier the Maniac, at Freezing Inferno, at Concave Usurper, and at the Kachiri, respectively. Twitch.tv/Rainiac, /Freezing Inferno, /Concave Usurper, and / the Kachiri. I don't know if Mike's got a Twitch or not.
No, I don't. But I do have something. I now have a blog. MichaelWhovianThoughts.blogspot.com. Where I've been writing stories, and I've been dealing with a bout of writer's block. So I've been writing a couple of hoedown verses. They've actually been helping a lot.
I'm glad to hear that.
Crash you that wall. Do it. And if I may plug blog bullshit for a bit.
Yeah.
I have continued with 16 more screens for Halloween, my spooky movie marathon, and I watched 4 films this week. Yes, 4 films. That you can find written about on my blog, Frezno'sRavingRants.blogspot.com. I covered Gamera 2, Attack of Legion, a giant kaiju movie with a big turtle fighting flowers and alien bugs. It's a fun time. Cube, as suggested by Rainiac, which did not give me an anxiety meltdown, but was instead an interesting introspective look at nihilism and self-worth and the human condition. Coraline, the Neil Gaiman stop-motion animated film that I'm sure if I were 12 years younger would have spooked the living shit out of me. Quite an interesting
generation. Watch. I'm from that generation, and oh boy.
Okay, you can raise your hand to attest to that movie being fucked up.
Yeah.
Generational fucked up text. Okay, and the last film I watched, mere hours before watching Power of the Doctor, the 2022 Scream, which holy fucking shit, that movie goes hard.
Is it good?
It is extremely good. It takes the meta commentary aspect of the Scream films and updates it flawlessly for the modern age with its choice of subject matter.
So it's the complete opposite Halloween Ends then, got it.
I haven't... don't say that. I haven't seen Halloween Ends or Halloween Kills or any of those. But I will. That's my finale for the thing. But Scream 2022, if you like spooky slasher movies and can handle that sort of shit, holy fuck, please check out this movie.
Yes.
But yeah, you can do that if you want right after this, because we're pretty much done. Say goodnight.
Well, hang on a minute. I've got you can please buy The Town for the Trees by Sean Dillon on Amazon.com. Please buy volumes 1 and 2 of Back to the Info by Krista Bittier, and I've got something to plug. Thank you very much.
I will say I'm sorry, Sean and Krista, that I forgot to plug the book, but you know, and yeah, I forgive you, Sean, for not explaining why The Straight Story is the best Star Trek movie ever made. One day you will. Anyway, Rainiac, what do you say? What do you have?
Yeah, join me, hopefully anyway, live on Saturday on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Rainiac, where we will be playing the Halloween update for Among Us. We haven't played Among Us for a while. I haven't played it on my Twitch channel yet. I've played it on Kat's. And I know Kat and Chris are in.
Rainiac out the airlock.
I assume Mike's going to be in to vent me out the airlock immediately. I don't know if Frez is in or not, because he hasn't declared either way.
We'll see what I'm doing on Saturday. We'll see.
Okay, so
you gave me advance warning this time.
Yeah, I did. We'll put you down as a maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe I can get one or two of the SOX people involved, and it should be a fun time. So Halloween Among Us, Saturday. Now that's out of the way. Now I'll wrap us up.
Well, wait, Rain, because you reminded me that I'm planning a stream too on this Friday, the 28th. No, yep, 28th.
28th, yeah.
On Friday the 28th, I'm going to be doing, I don't have a name for it yet, we'll call it the Nintendo Switch Spooktacular, where I play a bunch of spooky games I've got on my Switch on twitch.tv/Freezing Inferno. So, come for some blue-haired VTuber action playing Ghouls and Ghosts likes, I guess.
I like the sound of that. There will not be a VTuber playing Among Us, but I will have to put like a picture in front of the part of the screen because it actually tells you if you're an imposter or not, and people might want to not know that. So.
Well, okay. Anyway, if that's all, Rain.
That's all.
Oh, wait! Hang on! Before we leave, I can't believe I fucking forgot to carve a space out for them. Kat and Chris have thoughts on the episode. And I really should have remembered that, but, it was late at night. But I am carving out a space for you two. Kat and Chris, tell us what you thought about the power of the Doctor.
What the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck did we just watch?
What we have witnessed was a penis stroking. Beating us over the head with nostalgia to wrap something up so we weren't quite as angry, but at the same time, it solved nothing.
Frez is gonna have the biggest boner because of you saying that, just so you know. Because that's like 100% Chibnall's, like, MO. He 100% will just give you spectacular things in order to distract you from the fact that he has no story.
Yeah, penis stroking.
I mean, technically he had a story, but, it was just... It was kind of weird and confused, and also... legitimately, twice during watching this, I had to leave the room.
She did. It was hilarious both times.
Rasputin, I'm leaving this fucking scene.
But also, I'm very amused.
I know you're amused. You were cackling horribly as I was going, What?
Because it's so stupid. I don't even watch this show, and I know how stupid this is. So,
alright, let's try and do our best to summarize the story. The Master has decided that he's going to work with the Daleks and the Cybermen, who he now calls the Cyber Lords, and Ashad is there for some reason. in order to screw up the entire Earth, and also so he can become the Doctor using forced regeneration. So then that way he can go around and make her name terrible, even though there's nothing of the universe left to be able to do that with, and then they have to undo all of that in about an hour 30. Not
And
even
then
an hour 30, it was 88 minutes.
There was lovely penis stroking with bringing back all the old doctors and companions.
I did like
all
that.
All the feel goods, and then they left us where? And what's the
Remember
guy's name?
2007 where the show was good? Remember David Tennant? He was nice, wasn't he? How about we bring him back? And, like, her clothes regenerate, too, which has never happened, ever. So thanks for that, Chibnall. That's even more confusing.
What if this isn't a regeneration, though?
It's probably not. I don't know what he's trying to do, other than remind us of when the show was good.
Yeah. Just, Frez, like, oh goodness, alright, so my microphone is about to die. That was a thing. I'm sure Chibnall is sitting on his couch somewhere sipping your salty tears. And I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this mess.
Well, I mean, the only time I cried is when, you know, Tegan and Ace got to meet their old doctors. That was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, you know, reminding everybody when the show was good. Frez, shout out to you. I'm so sorry that you had to witness such a fucking train wreck. Rain, this is your country's fault.
I'm on this. I'm with this. It's all your fault, Rain. Not even your country. I'm putting the blame on you.
Specifically and only you. Have fun. Take care. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Hopefully that don't get you no copyright strike. Bye.
No, you have to actually sing it well for it to get a copyright strike.
Ooh, burned. Oh.
Burned, just like me. Why David Tennant? I knew this was happening, but also why David Tennant?
I mean, he's cute.
You shut up. He is adorable.
Yeah.
And also, if I remember correctly, I want to say it was in The Runaway Bride, he did that same what thing where he just went what over and over again, so I'm wondering if he's also calling back to that. So, you know, again, remember when the show was good?
I honestly was thinking more like Owen Wilson.
I think he goes wow.
Wow.
But either way, this is my review of it. I was kind of enjoying it, if only because of the penis jerking, like Chris said. Up until the part where she actually regenerated into David Tennant, and also nothing was explained. Absolutely nothing was explained. Like, I guess the Cyber Masters are gone now, and the Master is also dead, but probably not actually dead because this has happened before. And I guess they wrapped up those two things, and Vinder's back, woo, but Dan left, and that's bullshit.
Yeah. He was adorable, too.
I liked the companion meeting at the end. That was kind of cute, I guess. The universe is still destroyed, people. Are we just going to forget about that? They never fixed it.
Here's the thing. It didn't happen. That's what the whole regeneration thing at the end was. They went back in time and erased everything that happened in that whole era. So they're just starting it over from David Tennant's era.
Oh, you know what? That actually makes way too much sense just because they're bringing back RTD. And RTD was one of the biggest writers during David Tennant's era. He was the showrunner at the time, so...
Yeah, everything's just back to normal. It's just going to slowly eat away from where the Doctor was and just spread back to David Tennant era.
I'm not
Whatever
happy.
fucking number his doctor was.
10.
And this was what, the 13th Doctor?
Yeah. So 3 regenerations ago. Many
Okay.
seasons, many episodes, many, growing and... Wait a minute, why wasn't Clara there? Oh wait, I know why Clara wasn't there, because technically she's dead. Never mind.
Alright, well.
Wait, no. Amy is also technically dead, as is Rory.
Rain's gonna edit this in post-credits or something.
Honestly, though, Clara still could have been there as a sort of, fun little nod, just because she did go off with me into the diner TARDIS in order to have plenty of adventures.
I mean, alright, sure.
There's a long story there. She got killed by a raven.
A raven.
Yes.
Was it like a writing desk?
Well, they both produce notes, although they're very flat. But yeah, try to fit this into the podcast, Rainiac. Alright, I think Chris has died, so we'll just call it there, and you can go ahead and put this all in. Alright. Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you. I especially liked the allusions to me there, Chris. Thank you very much for that. But if we haven't forgotten any other shit, right?
Good night, everybody.
I'd like to thank Whovian and Michael for stepping in to catch you. So thank you very much for that. You stepped to the plate admirably, and it's great to have you back. And I think that's everything. So good night, Radiac, and we'll see you next time for what was it again? Oh yeah, Colin Baker in the Lovecraftian horror.
A Lovecraft invasion.
The Lovecraft invasion. See, I don't know the title of it. My brain's gone.
Good night, everybody.
Until next time, bye for now.
Watch Quantum Leap. You'll love it. Good night, everybody.
You had to get one more in there, didn't you, Mike? God damn.
He's based and he speaks the truth.